Fine, good afternoon to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Students, are you revising daily's portion? So have you all studied till yesterday's portion? So have you studied or not? So last class I marked question answers for chapter 8. So have you all studied all the marked questions? So chapter 8 completed or not? So please study daily portions, okay? So, and also I have started chapter 9. So list just I have started. So welcome to our today's online class students. So today we are going to study about chapter 9, list, tuple, set and dictionary. Okay. So yesterday, I have taught some things about list, isn't it? So what do you mean by list? So in list, data are enclosed within square brackets. So last class we have studied about what do you mean by list and how you need to create the list and how we can able to access the elements in the list. So this much of things I have taught at the last class. So today we are going to study about reverse indexing in list. Okay. So what do you mean by reverse indexing? So in last chapter 8 also we have studied about reverse indexing. Isn't it, Arnold? What do you mean by reverse indexing? First, what do you mean by index? So in list, so if you store more number of elements, the system automatically will allocate index values for each elements. That means each location or each element, it will allocate some index values. So in the index values may be positive index values or negative index values. Okay. So reverse indexing means, so we will say that negative index value we are saying as a reverse indexing. Okay. So which we are calling as a reverse indexing? Negative index value. So normally the index value will start from beginning or end. So the index values always will start at the beginning of the list. Beginning of the list, the index value start at from 0. But negative index always starts at the -1 from last, that is reverse order. That already you have studied. Okay. So Python enables both strings as well as list this reverse indexing. So what do you mean by reverse indexing? The index value will assign at the reverse order. That means the index value always starts from -1 at the from the last element. Last element index value is -1. Then before the last element index value is -2. -3 likewise it will increment. Okay. So this concept we are calling as an what? Reverse indexing. Understand, this is all very important, reverse indexing. So what do you mean by reverse indexing? So the index values will allocate from the last starting at the -1. So that indexing we are calling as a reverse indexing. Okay. So this is the example program for reverse indexing. Okay. So see this example program. So what's the name of the list here? Marks. So this one we are calling as a list. Name of the list or list variable. So what's the name of the list here? Marks. So inside the list are storing how many variables or how many marks you have stored? 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't it? So 4 marks you have stored inside. Otherwise 4 values you have stored inside the list called marks. Okay. So normally positive index means normally indexing. So always the index value will start from beginning 0, 1, 2, 3. But this program you are going to print the elements in reverse indexing. Okay. So you are going to write the program to print these values or these elements in reverse indexing. So what's the next step you need to write? Index. So reverse indexing means always the index value we will denote the variable I. Isn't it? So I equal to reverse indexing always starts with 1 or 0 or -1. -1. Normally positive indexing means always starts with 0. Isn't it? So in this place positive index means we will give 0. But this program we are going to write a reverse indexing. So we will denote the value as a -1. Understand? Next. So you need to print all the elements inside the list. So to print all the elements in the list means you need to give or you need to insert loops. So which loop you are going to write means while loop. Okay. So while this I, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen carefully. So negative index means always starts with -1. So you need to give the value till last -4. Understand? -1, -2, -3, -4. But positive index always takes the last value n-1. That already you know. But negative index means that the last value you need to give. What value? The index value is there. The same value you need to give. Okay. So I greater than or equal to -4. What's the meaning? Till -4 it will print the output. Understand? So next is the step you are writing print. Which one you need to print? Which list you need to print? Marks. Marks of which index? I. Marks of I. Understand? Next the index value needs to get increment with -1. So I plus -1. Understand? Understand the program? This is the program for reverse indexing. So yesterday we have studied the program for positive index, isn't it? So this is the program for reverse indexing. So see the output. So the values will be printed in the reverse order 75, 41, 23 and 10. So same thing they have given in the tabular column. How in the system, how this iterations is going on. Okay. So listen it. First, how many iterations will be there? See. So first iteration. What's the value of I? -1. The same program they have written. Okay. So iteration 1. See I. What's the value of I? -1. Then loop while I less than or equal to -4. Then next step print marks of I equal to I plus -1. The same program you are written in the tabular column. So this like only each and every program will work inside the system. Okay. So listen. So first iteration what's the value of I? -1. So it will check the condition whether -1 is less than or equal to -4. So condition is true. So then what's the condition? Print marks of I. So in the place of I, what value you need to substitute? -1. So in the place of -1, what value will be there? 75. Okay. So what output you will get? 75. So next step, I equal to I plus -1. So I, what's the value of I? -1. Next step, -1. So next is a -2. So next come here. Second iteration, the value of I is -2. Then -2 is greater than or equal to 4. Okay. So likewise, it will check till -4. Till -4, the condition becomes 4. When the condition becomes true. When it reaches the value -5, whether this condition is true, whether -5 is greater than or equal to -4, no. So one thing you need to listen, minus value is not just like the positive value, just opposite. Normally what you will say, 5 greater than or equal to 4, but -5 means just opposite. Okay. So this condition fails. So till it will print the values -4. Understand this program? This like only each and every program will work. While you are running the program, each and every program will work this concept. Understand? So next thing is list length. Okay. So each and everything they will use separate functions. Okay. So to find the list length, what function they are used in Python means length. Okay. Which function is used to find the length of a list? This and all very important questions. Mostly they will ask for 1 mark questions like this. Okay. So you should be thorough for all functions. Okay. So which function is used to find the length of the list? Len of. Len of. Okay. So what's the meaning of this len of function means? So it will count a number of elements in the list. And it will give the output as a how many number will be there inside the list. Okay. So what's the use of this function? So it will give the number of elements inside the list. Understand? So always it will return the, for example, in a list 5 elements is there means it will return the result as 5. 8 elements is there means what answer you will get? 8. So only they have given. So it will always return upper limit in a loop. Upper limit means last value, that is highest value. Index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. For example, 8 elements means last highest value, that is the upper limit. So that value it will return as a output. Okay. So next last class you have studied about nested list. What do you mean by nested list? One list will present inside another one list. That list we are calling as an nested list, isn't it? So likewise, if nested list is there means, so it will return the index value. That means inner nested list, it will consider the index value as a 1. For example, inside the nested list, 3 or 4 elements will be there. But the program will consider the nested list fully, entire list as a 1 index value. That also I have explained at the last class. Understand? So see this example. See this example. So what's the name of the list? What's the name of the list here? My subject. Okay, or list variable. What's the list variable here? My subject. So inside this list, you have stored how many variables? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Tamil, English, Computer Science, Maths. Likewise, 4 elements you have stored inside the list. So now you are going to find out the length of this list. Okay, so what's the step you need to write? Which function used to write to find the length of the list? LENF. Okay, so LENF. What's the name of the list here? My subject. What's the name of the list? My subject. So here what name you have mentioned, that name you need to mention inside the function. So LENF, what's the name of the list here? My subject. So see the output. How many elements it will return as output? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Understand what's the use of LENF function? LENF function will return number of elements present inside the list. Understand? So next here you see the program access single element. That means so it will give the result as a single element. But next program, see the next program, to display elements in a list using loop. The same, you are going to display all the elements in the list using loop. Okay, using this LENF function. You are going to display all the elements in the list using LENF function using the loop. See this program. So what's the name of the list? Same, my subject. So 4 subjects you are given. So what's the next step always? Index value. So always index value, only reverse indexing only. The index value starts with -1, otherwise the index value starts from 0. So what's the index value here? 0. Index value starts at 0. Then condition, while I less than len of my subject. What's the meaning of? First it will cover len of my subject. What's the meaning? Length of this list. What's the name of the list here? My subject. So the length of this list. What's the meaning? In the list, how many variables or how many elements will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So till 4. Okay, understand? I less than till this length of the list. So if the condition is true means what I need to print? Print off the list my subject of this index value. Understand? So first it will calculate the length of the list. So the length of the list is 4. So I less than 4. So that means 0, 1, 2, 3. Always the last value will take n minus 1. So len of 4 means it will print till third index value. Understand this line? Next. So if the condition is true, so it will print till index value 3. Understand? Next, print my subject of I. That means index. My subject of 0. What answer you will get? Tamil. Then my subject of 1. What answer you will get? English. My subject of 2. Computer Science. Then my subject of 3. Maths. Okay. So like that it will come means you need to increment the index value with 1. That's the next step. I equal to I plus 1. Understand? So now you run the program. See the output. Tamil, English, Computer Science, Maths. So likewise all the elements will display as a output. But the last program only you are going to find the length. How many elements are there inside the list. But this program you are going to display all the elements in the list using loop. Understand? These are all very very important programs and also easy. Next. So that program you have studied with which loop? While loop. Next, you are going to access the elements in the list using for loop. This also already you have studied. Same thing only, okay. So, how this for loop will work in the list. Okay. So, the for loop is mainly used to access the elements one by one. That's the important thing. What's the use of for loop in the list? It will access the elements in the list one by one. So, first it will access the first element, then second, then third. Likewise, this for loop is mainly used to access the elements in a list one by one. Okay. So, which keyword is used to in for loop means for keyword. Just like a C++ program. So, Python also for loop uses the keyword for. Understand? So this is the, see the syntax. So this is the syntax for using for loop. Listen, what's the keyword? For, then index variable in list. What do you mean by index variable? Which index you need to use? That means name of the list, otherwise that in the list. Okay, so index variable in list, then print that index variable. So the syntax and all you need to study thorough. Okay, so what's the syntax? First for keyword, then index variable, then index variable in the list. Next you need to print the index var. Understand? See the example, then only you'll get understand. So in that index variable means the index value. What do you mean by index value? 0, 1, 2, 3. It will represent the index value in the list. Okay, see this example. So here also 5 marks. In the, what's the name of the list here? What's the name of the list? Marks. So inside the marks list, they have stored 5 elements. 5 elements they have inside, they have stored inside the list. So next we are going to assign a variable for this list called list variable. Okay, so what's the syntax for using for loop? For list variable in list. What's the list variable here? X. So not list variable, index variable. Okay, so what's the index variable here? X. Okay, in for loop you should assign some index variable in the list. So what's the index variable here? X. For X in, then list. What's the name of the list? Marks. So what's the meaning of this one? For each index value. For 0 in marks, then for index value 1 in marks, then for 2 in marks, likewise. Okay, so it will represent each and every index value in the list. Understand? Next it will print the index value. What's the index value or index variable? X. Understand? So this is the working of for loop. So this for loop will access each element one by one. For example, first for X in marks. What's the meaning for? The index value 0 in marks, first element 23. Then for 1 in marks, that means second element 45. Understand? So likewise, it will access all the elements one by one in the list and it will give output for. Understand? Next, changing list elements. Okay, so already we have studied list in Pythons are mutable. What do you mean by mutable? But strings in Python are immutable. What do you mean by mutable and immutable? Mutable means you can able to change the values. You can able to make some additions. That means you can able to make changes. You can modify, add, delete, remove, insert, everything. So all the modifications you can able to do inside the list. But strings you can't able to do the modifications. But list you can able to change modifications. So only we are calling the Python list are called as mutable. You can able to change any values. Okay. So when you need to change some values or you need to alter some values means you need to use assignment operator. So which operator is used to change the list elements? Assignment operator. Understand? So which element is used to change values in list? This and all important. Assignment operator. Why I am telling 2 or 3 times means each and every heading if you see means each and every heading will have separate symbols. Assignment operator, then concatenation, up and likewise each and every headings will have separate symbols. They will ask 1 more question from here. Okay. So you should thorough for all the symbols. Understand? So if you need to change the values in the list means you should use assignment operator. Okay. So next, this is the syntax for changing values or making modifications in the list. First you need to give the list variable. Okay. So last example we have studied now for x in marks. Likewise, you need to give the list variable. Then index of an element. Which element you need to change? Always the program will access using index value. Likewise, so you need to give the index. Which value you need to change? That index value you need to give. Okay. Then, so which value need to be changed? What, for example, in a list, a mark 50 will be there. So same example you take mark, 5 marks will be there. Among that, 4th index value, that means 4th place, the mark 50 is there. But instead of 50, you need to change 70. Understand? So in a list is there. In the list, totally you have stored 6 marks. So in the 6 marks, 4th place marks you have typed wrongly as a 50. But instead of a 70 you have typed 50. Now you need to change the mark 50 to 70. Understand? So what's the format means? First you need to give the name of the list. Then which place I said to change? 4th place. The index value is 4. Then instead of 50 you need to change 70. So here you need to give the value 70. Understand? Which place index, then which value you need to change. Understand? So this is the syntax. Next, this is the first step. Next step, if you need to change the values from, for example, you need to change 3 or 4 values in the list. First one is you need to change a single element in the list. But if you need to change modifications in 2 or 3 elements in the list, means you need to give index value from where to where. For example, you need to change some elements from 3rd place to 6th place. Understand? 3rd place to 6th place. So you need to give the index 3, 2. So 6, don't give 6. Here you need to give 7. Why? The last index always will take n minus 1. So if you need to if you need to make changes from 3rd place to 6th place, means you should give the values or index from 3 to 7. That means last index values always it will take n minus 1. Then you need to give what are the values you need to be changed. Understand? So here whatever I have explained, same thing they have given. So index from means beginning index, from where to where. End means from which index you need to change. Okay, for that only an example they have given. If you need to change the values from 0 to 5 means, so the program will consider 0 to 4. Why? The last value always it will take n minus 1. So always you need to specify one more element. Understand? Then see this example. First, you are giving, what's the name of the list here? My list. What's the name of the list? My list. So inside the list you have stored how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements you have stored. So index value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 4. Next. So next inside the list you are giving one print statement. Print my elements before update. So before update you are printing the elements. Okay. Next. For x in my list, what's this one? List variable. What's the variable you are giving? For x in, what's the name of this? Is the syntax for loop. For what's the list variable? Sorry, index variable x. X, that means index value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In my list, name of the list. Then next line you are going to print this list variable. Okay, understand? So first it will print all the elements in the list. Next, listen. My list of 2 equal to 6. What's the meaning of this one? This one is the modification. What's the general format for modifying list? List variable or name of the list. What's the name of the list here? My list of, then index value. What's the index value? So here they are going to change the second place. They have stored the value as 4. But they are going to change the value for, what's the value? The value 5 to 6. The index place 2, they are going to change the value 5 to 6. Understand what modification they are going to do in the program? In the second place, in this list, the second place, they are going to change the value 5 to 6. So what's the format? First they need to mention the name of the list, my list, then index value. Index value is 2. So instead of 5, what value they are going to change? 6. So you need to write the value 6. Understand? Next they are giving print my list elements after updation. Okay, so this is before updation. Then after updation you need to print all the elements in the list. Okay, for that another one for loop you are giving another one list variable called y, because x already you have given. Next for y in my list, same thing. So which variable you need to print now? Print y. Understand? So same program you are going to print 2 outputs, first before updation and after updation. Okay, so till this much before updation, that means you are denoting one list with the elements, then you are printing so my list elements before update. Then what's the next for loop for? Then one variable, index variable you are giving in my list, then you are going to print the list. Next you are going to make changes, the second index place as a 6. For 5, in the place of 5 you are going to change as 6. Next, you are going to print the elements after updation. So again, you need to write the for loop. So in the place of x, already you have used the variable x. So you need to use another one variable called y. Next, you are printing the variable y. See, now you run the program. See the output. First, what you will get? My list elements before update. So this loop will execute. So before update, all the elements in the list, it will print as it is. 2, 4, 5, 8, 10. Okay. This one over. Next, my list elements after updation. See, after updation, in the place of 5, what element will be there? 6. Because you have changed the value 5 to 6. Understand? Understand or not? So list you can able to make modifications. Understand? Next. So next program. So range of values you are going to change. Okay. What's the next program? You are going to change some range of values. So last program we have studied about you have changed only one value in the list, but here you are going to change a range of values. So what do you mean by range? From starting index to last index. Between some range, between some index values, you are going to change the values. Listen. So here also, what's the name of the list? My list. Some elements they have given. 5 elements they have given. Likewise, always. So if any modifications or updations you are going to do in the program, first you need to define the list, then you need to print the list. After that only you will make updations. Understand? So what's the name of the list here? My list. So here some elements they are given. So before updation they are giving print list odd numbers. So next is the same program only, same format. For loop. For what's the index variable? X in. What's the name of the list? My list. Next you need to print X. Same thing. Next you are going to make modifications to entire elements in the list. So how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So index value start from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 4. So you are going to change all elements in the list. Here odd numbers is there. Next you are going to change these odd numbers to even numbers. Understand? Already odd numbers is there, but now you are going to change all the odd numbers to even numbers. So what's the format? What's the format for changing? Name of the list. What's the name of the list here? My list. Next you need to give the range of values from where to where. So all the elements. So here the last index value is 4. So you should give from starting is 0 to 4. So 4 means next index value. Last index value minus 1. So you should mention here 5. If you mention 5 means it will take till 4. Understand? Then you need to mention what are the values you need to change. So they have mentioned 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Understand? So this is the formula for changing name of the list. Then if a single element means no problem. Here any one index value like a last program you can mention. But here you are going to change the range of values from here to here. So that index you need to mention. From where 4 values will be there. So totally 0 to 5. That means 4 places it will make changes. So 0 to 5, what are the values you are going to change? 2, 4, 6 and 8. Understand? Next, listen. Next you are going to print even numbers. Next you are giving another one for loop. So you need to make after updations you need to print next. Isn't it? For that for loop another one list variable you are giving. Index variable is y. Next you are going to print y. See this output. First, you will get out list of odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Then after updation, list even numbers. In the place of odd numbers, you will get the output as an even numbers. Understand this program? Understand? Yes. Next thing. Adding more elements in a list. Okay. So next we are going to add more number of elements in the list. Okay. What's our next program? Next we are going to add more number of elements in a list. Okay. So in strings also you are studied. So adding strings at the last, adding more number of strings at the last, which operator you need to use? Up and off, isn't it? Likewise in the list also you can able to add single element you can add, or more number of elements also you can able to add. For that here we are using lot of functions. Okay. So listen, which function is to add a single element in the list means up and off. This and all very, very important. So which function you are used to add a single element in the list? Up and down. That means if you need to add only one element in the list means extra one element you are going to add. Already some elements are there in the list, but now you are going to add extra one element in the list. So for that, which function you need to use? Up and down. Understand which function you need to use? Up and down. Only one element if you need to add to the list means up and down. But if you need to add more number of elements to the already presented elements, if you need to add more number of elements to the list, that means already in a list a lot of elements will be there, but now you are going to add more number of elements to the already presented elements in the list. Which function you are using means extend of. Okay, sometimes they will ask the differentiate between up and off and extend off. So if they ask differentiate between up and off and extend off means first point you need to write up and off is mainly used to add only one element in the list. So extend off function is mainly used to add more number of elements in the list. Next you need to write the syntax. Okay, next you need to write the example. So see the syntax. List dot up and off. What's the syntax for up and off function? List, that means name of the list dot up and off element to be added. That means which element you need to be added. No need to write the count of elements. You need to write the which element to be added. Understand here up and off function you can able to add only one element. That element you need to mention here. But extend of function list dot extend of elements to be added. How many number of elements you need to add? That elements you need to give here. Understand? So what's the syntax? Up and means list dot up and off which element you need to add. So extend of means list dot extend of how many number of elements you need to be add. See this example. So they have given one list. What's the name of the list here? My list. So inside the list they have given three values. What are the values? 35, 45 and 48. So among this you are going to add only one element or one value. What's the value you are going to add? 90. Only a value 90 you need to add to this list. So which function only one element need to add means which function you need to use? Up and off. Understand? So what's the format for adding one element? List dot up and off. That means name of the list. What's the name of the list here? My list. Dot. What's the format? Up and off. What value you are going to add? 90. Okay. So name of the list. That means my list. Dot. What's the value? So what's the function used to up and off? What's the value you are going to add? 90. Next. So next you need to now you need to view the output. Further you need to give in print statement. So print my list of. Now see the output 34, 45, 48, 90. So this value I have added to the list. This is the use of up and off function. Understand? So next is the extend of function. Okay. So extend of function. So you can add multiple elements. So what's the thing? What's the format mean? You should mention the elements within brackets. Okay. So you should mention the elements in brackets. That means already you know the elements in the list you need to mention in square brackets. Likewise, so within this extend of function you need to mention the elements within square brackets. That's the arguments of a function. What do you mean by arguments? Giving input variables. Likewise, how many number of elements, that means how many elements you need to add, that elements you need to mention inside the square bracket, inside brackets with comma, separated by commas. Understand? See this example. So listen, already list is there. Same example. Last we have studied same. Already my list equal to here. If you are confused means here you write. Okay, in your book you write my list equal to. So this one. Same example only they are giving extend of function. Okay, my list equal to 34, 45, 48. Okay, so that list. Next, they are going to extend some values. Among that list, you are going to extend how many values? 71, 32, 29. You are going to add 3 more values in the list. Already in a list 3 values is there, but along with this values, already in a list 4 values will be there, but along with the 4 values, you are going to add 3 more values. So what's the format? Name of the list, my list. Dot what's the function you need to use? Extend of. So extend of. So you should mention the elements within square bracket than within this bracket. Okay. So that is very important. So inside the bracket you should mention. So what are the elements? 71, 32, 29. So this much of elements you are going to add to the list. Next you are going to print the list. So print my list of. See the output. Already in a list element 34, 45, 48, 90. Already these elements are there. Along with this elements, this 71, 32, 29. This elements also added to this element in the list. So understand the difference between append of and extend of. Very important question. Okay, append of, extend of. Likewise, they will give one list and after you find. So I using append of function, add one more element, and I using extend of function, add some more elements. Likewise and all, they will ask. Okay. Next, inserting elements in a list. Okay. Next, we are going to insert some elements in a list. Okay. So last we have studied append of function and extend of function. What's the use of that? That append of function means you can able to add elements at the only one element as the last. Likewise, extend of function also you can able to add more number of elements at the last. But instead of that append of and extend of function, instead of if you need to add some elements in some desired position, that means for example append of and extend of always need to add the values at the last, but you need to insert some values in the third place. For example, in a list 5 elements are there. Okay, so in a list how many elements are there? 5 elements are there, but you need to insert some values in the third place. Okay, but you need to insert some values in the third place. Using append of function and extend of function, you can't able to insert the values in between. Only last only you can able to insert. But using insert of function, you can able to insert the element at any position in the list. Based on your desired position, for example, third position means third position you can insert. Fourth position means fourth. First position means first position. So based on your desired position, you can able to insert the elements in a list using which function? Insert of function. That's the difference. Or 3 functions we have studied. What are they? Append of, extend of and insert of. Mostly these things are same, some difference. Append of means only one element you can add at the last. Extend of function means you can add more number of elements at the last. Insert of function means you can able to insert any element at a desired position at any location in the list. Understand? So this is the syntax for insert of. So what's the syntax? Name of the list. So name of the list dot insert of. So here you need to mention position index. Which position you need to insert the element. Then comma element. What element you need to insert. For example, third index value, third position you need to add some element. So you need to mention that index as well as which element you need to insert. Understand? So see this example. Here they have given one list. What's the name of the list? My list. So in the list contain already we have studied. So list we can able to store any kind of data types. That means numbers you can store, strings you can store, any data type, float numbers also you can store. So here how many elements are there? See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So totally 7 elements are there. Okay. So they are given what's the name of the list? My list. Inside the list 7 elements are there totally. So next they are going to print the list. Same list they are going to print. So what output you will get? Same output. 34, 98, 49, Kannan. So what they have given? The same list they have printed. Next thing, they are going to change the third place. You are going to change the name as a Ramakrishnan. Okay. Sorry, not change. The third place they are going to insert which one? Name Ramakrishnan. Okay. What's the third place? 0, 1, 2. Third place. This one. So already third place what name will be there? Kannan. So what's the thing means? So if you insert any element in that place, so remaining elements will move to the right side. One more place more. Okay. For example, here the third place if you are going to insert means this Kannan will move to fourth place. That means right side. One place it will shift. Understand? So see what's the format for insert of function? Name of the list. So my list dot insert of. So what's the index from which place you need to insert? Third index. That means third place. 0, 1, 2, 3 in the place of here. So what value you need to insert? Ramakrishnan. Understand? Now you can print the list. Print of what list you need to print? My list. See the output 34, 98, 47. See, third place what name is there? Ramakrishnan. So because you have inserted the third index place Ramakrishnan. So remaining all the things will move to the next place. That means shift. So already the Kannan is there in third place. But now Kannan is there in fourth. Gauri Shankar is in fifth. Understand? So if you insert elements in between some, so next elements, that means next elements will shift to one place to the right side. Understand? Next is a deleting elements from a list. Okay. So there are two ways to delete an element from the list. Okay. So how many ways are there to delete element from the list? Two ways. So what are the functions are used to delete means del statement as well as a remove of function. Okay, how many functions are there to delete elements in a list? Two. What are they? Del and remove of. Okay, so del statement is used to delete known elements. Known element means index value. Okay, so using the index value, you can able to delete the elements that is a known elements. Known elements means knowing index values. That's all. Okay, so using del statement, you can able to delete the known index values. But remove of function, you can able to delete without index value. You can able to delete the elements from the list. That's the difference between del and remove of statement. Del statement means you can able to delete elements only the known elements. But remove of statement you can able to delete unknown index also you can able to delete. Okay. So if you give delete statements means using delete statement you can able to delete the entire list. Full list also you can able to delete. Okay. So see this example. So this is the general syntax for deleting. So what's the word used for delete? Keyword del, name of the list, the index of an element. So this means it will delete particular index value, which element is there, that elements will delete. Next, del name of the list, index from 2. That means from which index to which index you can delete. For example, 1, 2, 3 means that means first place and second place the value will get deleted. Then to delete multiple elements, full elements, that means entire list you need to delete means which one you need to give? Del the name of the list. Very important syntax list. For example, if you need delete only one means one index value. 2 or 3 elements means starting index and last index. Full means full list you need to give. So see this example. So one list they have given. What's the name of the list here? My subject. What are the elements they have given? Tamil, Hindi, Telugu and Maths. So next you are going to print the entire list. So print of my list. So what's the name of the list? My subject. So all the elements will get print. Now you are going to delete del my subjects of 1. What's the meaning? First index place, the value present in the first index place you are going to delete. Okay, only one element. So what's the first element? Hindi. Hindi will get deleted. 0, 1. See the output. Next you are going to print. So each and every step you need to give the print statement. Then only you can able to see the modifications. Okay. See del the name of the list my subject you are deleted first index place. So next you are printing the list name. See whether Hindi is there in the output. No. So what output you will get? Tamil, Telugu and Maths. See next if you are going to delete the index value from 1 to 3. 1 to 3 means starting from 1. Last value always take n minus 1. There, so 1 and 2. Okay, what are the places will be there in 1 and 2? See 0, 1, 2. So here now in my subject how many elements is there? 3. Don't consider this one. Okay, 0, 1 and 2. So here you are giving 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 means 1 and 2. So last value n minus 1. So 1, 2. So 1, 2. So Telugu and Maths will be get deleted. Only one element you will get the output Tamil. Understand? Next, you are going to delete full elements in the list. So, del, what's the format? Name of the list. So, del, what's the name of the list? My subject. Now, you give print statement means, so you will get there is a no list because the entire list will get deleted. Understand? So, remove a function. Next class we can study, time over. So, today we have studied lot of functions. All the things are very important. So, all the programs, what are the programs I have taught by your own examples, you write. Up and down function, then remove of function, then del of function. So what are the things I have taught today? Please now after completion of this session, study, write and see. Okay, so don't get forget. I thought coming Monday is a holiday for you. So this what are the things I have taught? That 8th chapter fully you should study thorough. In Monday 8th chapter fully you should study thorough. Okay, so thank you students. Remaining we can continue in the next class. Thank you.